radio how it's supposed to be heard. It's the Baka Boyz Show.
All right, 52 past the hour. Nick V and Eric V, the Baka Boyz up in here. We got a special guest, Eric V. Long time coming. There's microphone over here.
Turn my mic on. I moved mics over here. 52 after the hour. Let's sing the song. Welcome to the show like this. Come on, come on. Well, it's the Baka, baby. It's the Baka Boyz everywhere now, everywhere. It's the Baka Boyz, and we got a special guest for you. His name is Tony. Tony. Hey. He is in the studio. He has pet piranhas. We just found that out.
Yes.
What made you want pet piranhas, bro?
You know, I just wanted something different because everybody had dogs. Everybody
That's definitely different.
Yeah, so I walked into this one fish tank and was one place where they sold fish tanks, fish. And I saw this one fish. I thought it was a pacu, but the guy tells me, no, it's a piranha. And I was like, really? I said, can I buy them? And he said, yeah, you want them? Just don't tell nobody you bought them here.
Right.
So I bought 6.
I was about to say, are they legal or are they illegal?
No, they were illegal, so I bought 6.
Did you name them by any chance?
No, I didn't.
Did you feed anybody to the piranhas?
No, but you know what? Every
Have
once
you
in a
thought
while,
about it?
Yeah. Who would you like to feed to the piranhas first and foremost?
One of my neighbors.
You got a nosy neighbor?
Yes. Always smoking weed and blowing it towards my house.
Oh, man.
You don't smoke weed? You're a non-smoker.
I'm a non-smoker, brother.
Congratulations. Were you always like that from the very beginning, like starting as a young DJ?
You know what's so funny, man? That, okay, in junior high school was like the first time that I ever smelled it.
Yeah.
And I used to tell people, man, it smells like African booty hair. It smells like peanuts or something.
Right.
But girls always liked the smell. Like, that was chocolate Thai, that's cess. And one day, my bad experiences, one girl tells me, you know what, if you smoke it with me, I'll be with you. So I said,
the old trick.
Yeah.
The old vagina trick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
So I
she
said,
tricked
okay,
you
cool.
into it.
Yes.
Right.
So it worked. You got a chance to hang out with her and do things, and now you have a child. Thanks for
now we know where the piranhas came from.
Yeah.
All right, so we got legendary Tony A in the studio with the Baka Boyz. Let's go way back. First time hearing your song with High C, I'm Not Your Puppet. What year was that? 1990?
It was 1991 that it came out, but it actually came out on the mixtapes.
Okay.
Late 89. And then that's when Hollywood Records got interested and signed us in 1990, and then it was released in 1991.
So where did that song take you guys? Tell me about some stories of how that one record took you guys where?
It took us all over the U.S. By the time I was 22 years old, by the end of 1991, I was pretty much all over the U.S. And let me tell you, to me, that was such a humbling experience to be able to travel. And I'll tell you why, because I actually came up with that song in my room, in my bedroom, with Steve Yano and High C, and it was just meant to be on a mixtape.
Right.
You know,
You never meant it to be a single.
No, not at all.
So who played it? How did somebody hear it? How did somebody hear it at the record label? How did they hear it?
Well, it was weird because I remember when we did that song for the mixtape. You know, I didn't think it was ever going to leave the swamp meet, but Steve sold them, and before you know it, somebody from Hollywood Records got a hold of it, came looking for us at the swamp meet and said, you know, who did this mixtape?
That's a dope A&R guy, whoever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
No.
Yeah. So Steve tells them, "Oh, he did." He pointed at me, and I was like, and I'm thinking they're going to bust us for
You
bullets.
think you're going to get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
You think he's the FBI and stuff like that.
So I said, "Yeah, I did it, but he sells them." You know. So.
We're in business together.
Yes.
I love it. So Steve Yano, you brought his name up. Steve Yano, of course, from Rodium Swap meet. He started selling mixtapes. How did you meet up with Steve Yano, and how old were you then?
Well, I was 11 years old when I had my first job, and that was selling at the Vermont Swap meet in the city of Gardena, the same city where the Rodium is at. And that was my very, very first job. And actually how I met him is that one day he was playing that song, Wicca Rap.
Wicca Rap, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
and
Wicca Rap.
I was 11 years old popping in front of his stand. Okay. And then so he calls me over and he said, "Hey kid, come here, come over here." And I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "Can you pick up a record crate?" So I picked it up and he said, "You want a job?" And I said, "Yeah." That's what he said.
That's what's up.
So he gave me my first job. So I worked with him until I was about 13 years old. And then what happened was the business died down. He ended up going to the Rodium because the Vermont Swap meet was dead. So I didn't get reacquainted to him until I was about 19. So that was like in 1987.
Okay.
But I had already heard that he was somehow hooked up with Dr. Dre. I heard a mixtape called 85 Live where Dr. Dre was rapping, mentioning Steve at the Rodium. And I try to make the connection. I go, Steve, Dr. Dre, the Rodium. Okay, I know that's where Steve sells. They got to know each other. So I went to go find out how did Steve know Dr. Dre.
Right.
Because Dr. Dre, to us, being from the World Class Wrecking Crew, he was like a DJ god, you know?
Yeah.
So the weird story was that when I got there, I didn't want to approach him. I wanted to see if he recognized me because I hadn't seen him since I've been 13. So when I passed right by his stand, he sees me, he calls me over, and to my surprise, Dre was actually there in his stand.
Damn.
And then Jinx, but I didn't know who Jinx was. Jinx was just a teenager.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to a guy named Eric, which later on we find out was Eazy E. And so Steve's, Tony, come on, what are you doing? I said, I'm a DJ now.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, let me see you go off, man. Let me see you spin. And he had
Right in front of them, right in front of Dr. Dre, Sir Jinx,
yes,
and
so,
everybody.
Of course, just like any other good DJ, I said, you got 2 at times.
Oh,
So
damn.
I pulled it out and started cutting it up. And then Dre tapped me on the shoulder and he tells me, hey, man, you did pretty good. And for Dre to tell me that, I just thought because everybody heard Dr. Dre in surgery.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and plus I bit a lot of his scratches anyway.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was dope that he told me that. So he connected me with Sir Jinx, and me and Jinx recorded our first record together. Man.
Nice.
That was in 1987. That one came out in 1988. That was done for the owner of VIP Records, Calvin Anderson in Long Beach.
So we're sitting with Tony A, the Wizard, man. How did you get the name the Wizard?
Steve gave it to me. I was given the name Tony A when I was in 4th grade because there were 4 Tonys in my class. So
Yeah, you got to be something different.
yeah, so the teacher said, you're Tony A, you're Tony M, you're Tony O. So yeah, so one day Steve tells me, so what did they call you? And I said, just Tony A. And he said, well, you got to come up with another name better than that. And I said, well, I don't have another name. So he called me up one day and he goes, Titi Wizard. And I said, what the hell is that? And he goes, Turntable Wizard. And I said, okay.
There it is.
So
there.
there it is.
I love it, man. When things are given to you, you just take them and accept them and just let it be.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's move fast forward. Here we are, 2019. There's a whole story. There's a whole lineage about mixtapes and Dr. Dre and the Rodium Swap meet. And we have a kinship here because me and Eric we got a chance to sell mixtapes at the swap meet.
We survived by selling tapes at the swap meet back in the day in Bakersfield. There was a long time where our family was going through a tough time, and we had to work and sell mixtapes to survive for a good year at least, because my dad had lost his business, and we had to support the family. He went into a deep depression, and we had to sling.
All right,
we had to sling cassette tapes.
Without going too deep into it, Eric V, thank you very much.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
But I'm saying mixtapes changed our lives and helped us eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was there ever a time in your life where you had to rely on only your mixtape and your skills as a DJ to eat?
Absolutely, but I will say this: I kind of cheated because I used to slang on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I remember Steve would come over and my beeper would always go off, and I would look at my beeper, and he was like, "What's that?" And I go, "Hold on, I got to sell." So I would go outside and give the guy a 20, come back in, and he was like, "What did you just do?" I said, "I sold the guy a $20 rock," and he goes, "Well, what are you doing that for?" And I said, "Well, this is what I buy my records. This is how I buy my equipment." And Steve was only paying me $200 a cassette.
Okay.
And we would do it bi-weekly, so I had to do something on the side.
Right. Yeah.
But I only did it just to buy records, And then it's funny. He goes, "So are you going to sell any more, or can we finish up this mixtape?" And I said, "No, I'm done. I need to recop." And he said, "What's recop?" I go, "I need to buy more to sell." And he goes, "That's dope." He said, "Let's name this tape Recop." So we named all of our tapes.
What?
Yeah, we named all of our tapes for what was going on.
That's
right.
That's crazy.
I'll give an example. My most popular mixtape was 88 Boom and Bass.
Okay.
That one featured Eazy E, Ice Cube, JJ Fad, and Tone Loc.
Right.
Okay, and I remember my dad came pounding on the door. He goes, "Bájale ese boom." That's what he said. He goes, "Turn down the bass."
Yeah.
My parents didn't speak English.
Okay.
So I walked back in. I'm a little mad, and Steve tells me, "What was that? What's boom?" And I said, "He wants you to turn down the bass because it's too loud." So he said, "Okay, so boom is bass?" And I was like, "Yeah." So a day later, he calls me up. He goes, "We're gonna name this tape 88 Boom and Bass."
No. See, man, that's awesome.
That's how it happens.
That's how it's someone like Stevie, and he's from where? Where was Steve
Whittier.
from? No,
Whittier.
But he was he born in Whittier?
Well, you know what? That I never asked him. I don't say, but I've been 11 years old. I know he's a Japanese guy. I know he was raised in Whittier from what he had told me, but he loved oldies. I always said that that Steve was more of a Mexican than he actually was.
Right.
You know, he used to come to my house and he was like, "Hey, Tony, hey, do you got any Pondusi?" And I was like, what the hell is Pondusi? And he goes, "You're a Mexican and you don't know what Pondusi is?" And I was like, "No." So he saw something. My mother had some conchas there, and then she was like, "That's what I go, pan dulce, homie.
Yeah.
It's not Pondusi."
Right.
Pondusi. All right, so check it out. Now you've created this documentary, and you're looking for a home for it. It's all surrounding the swap meet and all the mixtapes. So tell me about that. How was that journey creating this? Was it tough to find people to get to interview, to talk about what was going on in the past?
Actually, it's funny because I dropped the idea to a lot of people before I actually started filming. It took us about a year and a half to actually do it, and we only meant to do about an hour-long documentary. And I only wanted to interview maybe the most 8 people, but so many people reached out and wanted to contribute to what Steve did as far as being a cornerstone at the Rodium Swap meet for the West Coast hip hop. Guys like Lonzo, Clientele, you know, and a bunch of other guys reached out and said, "Hey, man, I would like to say something."
Yeah.
But it was really, really easy to interview people, man. And honestly, I was blessed for that because, you know, I didn't have to beg anybody or wait on anybody. Yeah. Everybody wanted to be a part of it.
Everyone to show love for what they got, because before they got on the radio, their break was at the swap meet.
Yes.
You know, on the mixtapes. You know, if you got featured on one of your mixtapes or one of the hottest mixtapes out there, that's a big deal for them. It was like a world premiere type of situation.
Exactly. I remember at Warren G, when we interviewed him, he told me, "Man, you know what? For years I was trying to get on those mixtapes." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Man, I was there when my brother was making them, and I always would tell Steve, let me get on. And Steve was like, "No, man, I don't like the way you rap." Damn. And he was like, "But I'm Dr. Dre's brother." He goes, "Yeah, but you ain't Dr. Dre."
Damn, Steve is hard.
Steve is hardcore.
Pondusi.
Well, man, we just wanted to bring you in here to enlighten some of our listeners that might not know about the past and about the foundation, and we wanted to put it out there to the universe so we can get you a home for this documentary here. Yes. So how long is the documentary now?
The documentary, again, I only set out to do maybe a documentary about an hour long, but it ended up being close to 3 hours long. Wow, we divided it into 2 parts, side A and side B, like a cassette.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not your standard format of a documentary. We actually cut it into docu-mixery. You know, so now you can see like a visual mixtape, if you will.
Yeah.
We show people how we did the mixtapes.
Nice.
I tell people how I actually met Dr. Dre, how he passed the torch on to me for me to take over the mixtapes, because he got busy recording the other, the records at the time.
Yeah.
But and the opportunity that Steve gave me, because he could have given it to anyone else, but Steve trusted me that I would carry on the legacy of those mixtapes. So I did, and so like I said, it's about 3 hours long. I interviewed about 20 people.
Damn.
And let me tell you something. People who watch this will not be disappointed. I really took my time to make sure that people actually learn the history, not only of the Rodium, the mixtapes, but also about Steve, who Steve is.
Yeah.
Right. Because he was a big, vital part of everything. I mean, from Dre to you to everybody else that was broke through those mixtapes and the mixtapes he used to sell.
Yes. I mean, I remember guys like Young MC and guys like Tone Loc would reach out and say, "Hey, man, I want to get on those mixtapes."
Yeah.
And Steve would tell us, "Come on, we're heading over to Delicious Vinyl. I need you to put the instrumental of Bust a Move on."
Yeah.
So because we're going to have Young MC bust on it. We're going to have Tone Loc. Tone Loc rapped on 2 of them. JJ Fad rapped on them. Eric, Eazy E, Dr. Dre, and Cube would come to my house and rap on these mixtapes.
Damn.
And it was funny, man, because I come from a family of 10 kids.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, my mom would have like the stove, full of food, and she's over here cutting and sewing dresses because she sold at the swap meet herself. She'll be watching her novelas, and here I come with Eazy, Dre, and Cube, walking through the living room. She's like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
So mis amigos, they're my friends.
Right.
But and then they would just flip over a crate and then just start writing and rap on this 4-track mixtape.
Well, you got quite a story, and I wanted to make sure that our audience hears the story and they have an opportunity to support whatever you are doing. So how can people get a hold of you on social media? Number one, how can they? Do you have social media popping off?
Yes, sir. I have IG. I'm pretty much on there 90% of the time.
Okay.
They can reach me on Tony A the Wizard. I spell the with D-A, Tony A the Wizard. Or you can reach me at my YouTube, which is Tony Vision. You just spell that regular Tony Vision. But if you find me on Instagram, you go to my bio, takes you to my website, and you can reach me on all platforms there.
People want to know how they can see the documentary.
Okay, that's the hard part, because Let me say this. I promise everybody out there that has been waiting, because there's a lot of people that have been hitting me up for a specific date.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't have a date, because nobody has picked it up yet. We're still having meetings. We actually still have 2 more meetings. I've had people that have reached out to me that have told me, I want to premiere it at my theater.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, so we got actually 3 theaters right now that want to premiere. So right now, what me and my boy John Elkins, JE Visuals are doing, we're condensing it from 3 hours to 1 hour so that we can premiere it.
Yeah,
that's good.
You know, but what we're doing is, as soon as we have a date, we'll let everybody know. We just do not have a date, but I will promise you that it will be out this year.
Okay.
It will be out this year. We're not going to wait any longer.
Okay,
you know?
excellent.
And the old mixtapes that you did back in the day at the Rodium Swap meets, have you ever looked online to see how much they're going for on eBay?
No. You know what? I still have all of my mixtapes.
Damn.
You know, all of them. Even the ones Dre did, they're over 80 of them.
Okay.
Jeez.
You know, that were done. And I still have all of them. I'm remastering them. I only did 4, and I'm releasing them for sale on my website. You can download them.
Awesome.
So, you know, people could not only know the history, but hear the history as well.
I love it. And Tony, thanks for coming in today, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
It's been a long time coming.
Definitely.
We never really got a chance to sit down back in the 90s, man. But
yes, sir.
Very proud, and thank you very much for doing all that you did in the foundation, laying it before we got here to Los Angeles. Because what you guys did is it's forever. You know?
Man. Well, you know what? I just want to say that it's been a tremendous blessing, not only being here, but be able to meet you guys and to have known you guys this long, and to invite me over here, because this gives me a platform for my voice to be heard, for Steve's voice to be heard, for his documentary to be heard. So I just want to thank you guys, bro,
definitely,
for allowing me to be here, man.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Do you still have the Piranhas or no?
No.
I got some people I want to throw in there. That's why. Tony's like, nah.
The one and only, the Wizard.
The Wizard.
Tony, hey,
Thank you.
In the building.
Radio how it's supposed to be heard. It's the Baka Boyz show.
What's going on? This is Drip.
Every